Welcome to season 4, episode 7 of Burner Talk. You're now listening to the podcast that keeps it real all the time. I'm your host, Jay, back at again with another brand new episode. This is the first show I've ever done with camera on, so cut me some slack, but try to make it work. But I'll still be putting the audio only version on Spotify. This is one of the most anticipated episodes, not just for me, but for the audience as well. And very anticipated, so I'm pretty excited for my guest today. And he's a very special guest. Today on the show, he's a talented actor. He's appeared in the shows Devious Maids and The Vampire Diaries, but I was introduced to him in the show Superman and Lois, where he portrays Clark Kent's right-hand man. Sorry about that. John Henry Irons, aka Steel. Without further ado, let's welcome Wole Parks to the show. Say what's up to the Burner Talk audience. Tell us how you're feeling today.
What's up, audience? Burner Folk audience. What's up, Jay? No one's described me as a Clark Kent's right-hand man. That's like, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Had to give you a cool intro. Had to think
I appreciate it. It's good. Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for taking the time to come on.
No worries. I know we've been talking back and forth about this on IG. So, dude, it finally happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, what's your experience with podcasts? I'm sure you've like been interviewed a ton before, but have you done it on like this platform a lot?
And all that. So, to be honest, I'm used to that. In studio is more foreign to me at this point, which sucks, but that's just the truth.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel like it's an up and coming industry. That's kind of why I got into it. And it's something I did as a side hobby. But I mean, I've gotten some cool guests, obviously you on here now. So it's like helping me build connections kind of in what I want to do as well with the media outlet. So yeah,
nice,
for sure.
Dude, that's good. As long as I'm a believer in, like, dude, follow your passion. If this is what you really want to do and you put in the work, it's going to bear fruit. You know what I mean? So good luck. Dude, I always support people who do that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And speaking of passion, like, have you always wanted to be an actor? Like, was that your plan A, so to speak, growing up?
No. My plan A was numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I'm like a math nerd.
Oh, really?
Like to be, yeah. I went to like a specialized school. Like since third grade, I was in the gifted class with for like, just because I'm really good with, at least I was really good with numbers. I'm not as good now just because I don't do it as much every day. But
Right.
but yeah, I was planning to be like a math teacher and accountant. Or I was doing finance for many years after I graduated college, and I was gonna do all that. But while I was in high school, I kind of got introduced to acting accidentally. I kind of caught the bug, and it's worked out. I can't complain. I've had a good run so far.
Oh, yeah, so it definitely has worked out. You've gotten some good gigs. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've heard that. I feel like that's a lot of stories with a lot of actors. Like it wasn't what they initially wanted to do, and then they end up doing it and start loving it. And I'm like a filmmaker myself, and like acting is something I'd be interested in. I guess I just never had, like, I never thought I could make it big, so to speak. So it's kind of like a side hustle type thing.
So okay, so you mentioned now directing, acting, and also like podcasting. So out of all those three, which one, if you could do any of them, which one would be the one you'd love to do the most?
Honestly, I would say acting, probably.
Like, give it a shot. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I get it. Like I'm not saying it's guaranteed. This industry is hard. Like people.
There
are a lot of people I know who are like, oh, I think I want to be an actor. I'm like, okay, like, because they just like talk, like kind of flipping about it.
Right.
This is not easy. Like I think the stats is like only 5% of actors, like people who are in SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, actually make enough to like do it professionally, like actually make it their job and live off of it. I think
exactly
like maybe 0.5% of it are people who are considered quote unquote famous or whatever like that. So it's not easy, and this is a thankless industry. But if you want to give it a shot, dude, hey, you never know. You never know what happens.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I'm like entrenched in a lot of stuff in the media. Like I said, directing, acting, podcasting. It's just, I'm all over the place. I like screenwriting too. So I'm kind of just, trying to find my niche. And this was something else.
You're figuring it out right now.
Right. And
nice. Good.
Yeah, I'm about to graduate soon. So I kind of got to, ramp it up a little bit from school.
I get it. Good luck, brother. Good luck.
Absolutely. But yeah, before I already asked you about podcasts, so now we can get into the show a little bit. And I say like the main thing I love about the show, especially season three. Congrats on season three, by the way.
Thank you,
It's
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great so far. It's like I love how grounded and realistic it is, even though like we're in a world with Clark Kent, Superman, Steel, all these other villains. That's my favorite part about it.
Dude, I love that you said that because that's literally what the original showrunner Todd Helbing wanted. He described it to me, and I'm sure a lot of people is like, how do you ground a show with a man who can fly? And that's his whole thing. I think I think they took a big swing with the whole Lois having cancer thing this season.
Yeah,
And I commend them for that because it's not because most superhero shows it's not about that kind of stuff. It's about this the big bad guy, this or whatever. It's like when you got Superman, who's basically invulnerable. I mean, like there's only but so much kryptonite.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
you can only throw so many bad guys at him. After a while, then it's like okay. So like that's the whole idea of the show is like it's about family. It's about what tethers us together. Like how would you Jay relate to the show? How would I Wole relate to the show? Because neither of us have superpowers. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's been cool. I love that they do that on our show. They try different things.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I feel like that makes the superhero genre in general like more interesting because the industry is like very saturated with superhero shows and films. So you kind of
100%. a
yeah,
100%.
you want to have something different, something unique. And I feel like that's what makes me love this show so much is because it feels like aside from that stuff, like everything with the family, you and Nat or Taylor,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
relationship, I was find it very interesting because it feels like you're
No,
in it, you know.
yeah, no, it doesn't. And like Joseph, 3 years in, you do feel like we feel it too. I mean, like, like I bonded with Taylor. Taylor's great. Like I've seen her, she was already mature when I met her. I think she was 17 when we did our episode on season one. She's 19 now. And it's like I've seen
Yep.
her grow and mature even more. And for no reason, I've become like sort of an overprotective dad. Again, she didn't ask for that. She doesn't need it.
Right,
But
right.
I'm also one of those guys who are like, who are you talking to? Watch what you're doing. Watch them boys out there. Again, it's just it kind of naturally happens.
Yeah,
After a while, you become protective of them, and but also that shows how much of a family we've all become. We all get along really, really well. Like I love this cast. Like I say it all the time, and a lot of us say it, but it's true. We really, really have a family, and it's great.
absolutely. And I follow most of you guys on Instagram. It seems like it's just, one big family. And also they kind of portray that on the show as well with like the cookout scenes and stuff like that. And, I was very interested in that part. And this is like it's more of a real life / show question. But I noticed in one of the scenes, like you made your wild mushroom risotto, and then you got like Eric making the ribs. Like, are y'all actually good at cooking, or is that just for the camera?
Jay, I'm gonna tell you 100% that is the script.
Okay,
I have
just checking.
never, nor will I ever make a wild mushroom risotto.
That's vegan.
Yeah, that's vegan.
Yeah,
I don't do that. I mean, like, look, I've been to vegan restaurants, but no, I
yeah,
have friends of mine who literally laughed when they heard my character say, they're like you doing that? I was like, I know. Listen, hey, but that's because like the idea, of course, is that Nat, she's a vegan, I think. So that's
yeah.
where that comes from. Me, obviously, he knows how to take care of her. But yeah, as far as me, no, I ain't doing that. Eric though, he had a Super Bowl party this year, and he did make. What did he make? He was trying to make something. He made it was like rib tips or something. I forget exactly what it was. It was his first time doing something like he had a new slow cooker or whatever.
Hmm.
Look, he'll admit it wasn't his best. He admits that. So I don't think I'm talking out of turn. But Eric gets down. Like I love him. Like his wife Candace, and Enzo, their son. Like Eric goes down in the kitchen too.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that because I was gonna say, watching the show, those ribs do look good. They look amazing.
Yeah. Again,
So
that's all our set people.
I'd
That's all
ask.
our props people. Like
Gotcha.
Elliot and all the people do that. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. So like who would you say in terms of the character is like for your character, would you say do you see a lot of yourself in the character or is it like two different people completely?
No, it's two different people. I mean, like, well, here's the way I always describe it. Because we talked about you becoming an actor and all this. The way I
Right.
see acting is there's me and there's the character, or anyone. There's the real person and there's the character,
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
on somewhere in between, you're gonna meet the version where like they meet, and hopefully the actor goes further to get to reach the character than vice versa because then you're just playing yourself all day long. And I will say, as time has gone by, like I definitely like John Henry and I are not the same guy at all. Like he's much more intense, but he's had a rougher life. You know what I mean? Like he's had to go through so much. Like I mean, dude, he's been through PTSD. He's been through a world war against a Superman. Like his wife got killed. Like he lost his daughter. He's lost all these people. Like he's been through so much turmoil. So I had to go all the way over there for him. What I'm trying to do with him now, I'm trying to do like season 2 on, is like not necessarily bring him closer to me per se, but it's more so lighten him up. Because he has to grow. He can't just stay that intense, angry guy and resentful guy the whole time. You want to see growth in characters and him find a way to find a family in Smallville. So I feel like I hope that that's coming through in the character. Tyler and I get to do a lot of scenes together, which are fun. I know we had a fun one in episode 1 of this season with the pregnancy test. It was hilarious
Oh
to shoot.
yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah. That was really fun. So it's like things like that, which is fun. So that's how he's evolved, and I guess theoretically he's become closer to me, but it's more so he's just lightened up.
Gotcha, for sure. And looking more into John Henry and with his family and relationships, I feel like the first 3 episodes have kind of been alluding to like a budding relationship between John Henry and Lana. So what are your thoughts on that budding relationship, and how's it been working with Emmanuel this season?
Well, I love working with him just because I love him. Like we hang out. Like again, I keep saying it like a broken record, but we do hang out like outside of that. I saw her like less than 2 weeks ago. Yeah, no, it's great working with her. Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, yes, I see what's happening and people see what's happening. So I'm just going like, I hate cheesy answers, but I guess you got to stay tuned. But yeah, I mean, you see what they're trying to do. But here's the logic behind it though. Like, for her, Kyle and her have their fractured relationship. Kyle's obviously moving on. She wants to move on. She's very firm about that. And like, like her and John Henry, like the idea of both being single parents now is like I think what you'll see as time goes by, like it's not just going to be like just, oh, we're going to hook up immediately. I hate that. It would be really stupid. Right. I think what you're going to find though is like 2 single parents who are like navigating that together and finding a way to bond, So I think that hopefully will come through. And actually it did happen in the comics. So I'm just gonna say, yeah.
Hey, we got the source material for it, so it might as well just happen.
Exactly. It happens.
Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, I feel like y'all it's not the same, but kind of similar path. So it feels like you're just on a crash course for it to happen. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
Well, you already know. We'll see. The audience,
I know, but everybody else will find out.
Yes. The audience will see. So, what would you say is was the most challenging scene for you to film this season? I don't know if that's like spoilery or.
Oh yeah, no. That's okay. Okay. The most exhaustive scene is one which is coming up in episode. I'll tell you this. Here's a lot of my scenes. What you're going to see, and it starts the next episode. Bruno and John are going to go at it. Like that's when Bruno and John finally get like meet at some point next episode, and that's going to set John off on this crash course, and is going to throw all of his relationships into turmoil. Not just like obviously him and Bruno, but like even the ones he has currently right now. So. The harder scenes come later on in the season just because of that relationship. So I'll just say there's a couple you'll see where this is not gonna be spoiler, but I'll just say like the cool thing about this John Henry is that he has a military background so that he can fight. Like he doesn't need the suit. He has the suit and it's great. And a guy, Stephen Adekolu, who was wearing the suit 95% of the time, he's freaking amazing. Mm-hmm. But I get to do a lot of stunts without the suit. So you're going to see that come up. So it definitely, awesome. Those scenes become very taxing, and you'll see some of those come up.
Gotcha. And this is another question that just popped into my head. So like getting into the character, like when you were first cast, did you ever like take any inspiration? Because something I just thought of was like the OG Steel with Shaq. Like, have you seen that?
No, and everyone asks, and I
really,
I feel like everyone asks, and I feel like I have to see it at this point because like I know it's supposed to be really bad, and that's why I didn't see it when I was a kid. I didn't see it either because everyone said it was bad. But you're younger than me. Like it came out when I was a kid. So
Yeah,
so for me, like I just didn't see it, but I feel like I have to see it now just because people mentioned it. But no, there was
right.
no inspiration. I mean, I the beauty of it is they came up with a completely different backstory for this guy. So I had to be true to that. There's this stuff in the comics which we bring in, obviously, you know, John Henry's intelligent. He's got the suit. He's an engineer by design and all that stuff. But this guy with his PTSD and the trauma he's been through, that's something that the comic book version didn't have.
Mhm.
So I instead actually utilized a lot of trauma through military stuff, and like I researched a lot of PTSD and what vets go through. That was my primary inspiration for the character, rather than anything from the comics or from another place.
Gotcha, gotcha. I don't know if you necessarily want to take inspiration from that film, even though I've never seen it. I've just heard things. So, but
Ajay, I feel like both of us need to watch this film so we
we
can
do,
say we've seen
yeah,
it. Might not be the best, but hey, you never know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll post my review. Uncompromised, completely honest, brutally honest, and see what everybody's been saying. See what everybody's been saying, because I usually go
Yeah.
into shows and movies with like my own opinion, but
Yeah.
hey, we'll see what everybody else has
Yeah.
been saying. I'm not excited.
I know. At this point, I almost kind of like want to like it, like like something's bad good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's so bad that you actually enjoy it. That I
yeah, like
feel
a
like
guilty
I need
pleasure.
to eat 100% because everyone talks how bad it is. I feel like I'm gonna go in and be like, it's actually pretty good in like the dumbest way ever. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we've all got those movies, but I'm gonna try to go in open minded because I think it came out like what 1995 or
Something
something
like
like.
that. Yeah, we're almost 30 years, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'll cut it some slack. I'll cut up some slack. It was a long time ago too. But
Yeah.
without giving away anything else, what else can we expect to see from John Henry this season?
Well, like I said, I mean, it's all about him and Bruno. That's going to be the big thing. They've hinted at it before, like, episode 2, where
Mm,
Bruno realizes from onomatopoeia that John is still alive. Like I said, that's going to set it off on a crash course, and it's going to get
mm,
real crazy. So that's honestly going to suck up a lot of John's time, and John's
right.
energy is going to be about that. And I think, for better or for worse, I will say this is going to take John down a darker path.
Hmm.
Even though I was just talking about how he's lightening up and all this stuff, which he's trying, he wants to do it. It's great. I'm gonna tell you, Bruno's gonna take him right back to dark. So some of that intense season 1 John Henry, who was like after Superman and all that, is gonna get directed towards Bruno. So we'll see some of that.
Yeah, and I like what I've seen so far from Bruno as well. Like, very
Oh yeah.
menacing, intimidating as a villain.
Dude, Chad, I love Chad because Chad and I met on All American a couple years ago, maybe more than a couple years ago. We didn't our characters didn't cross paths, but we were on set the same day, so we just hung out and we caught up. We met. But working with Chad this season, dude, he's so good. He commits like that. That's what I'm really looking forward to people seeing. Like, dude, there are scenes coming up like later on in the season, like. I'm just saying episode 9 is a big episode,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of conflict with us. And I loved working with Chad. I have nothing but good things to say about that man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like that always makes a superhero story if you have a villain that's, believable and, like can see their side from the story as well. And that makes me
Yeah.
think of the scene when he was talking to Superman about the suicide slums and, about like how he came up, his background. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he'll be a great villain for the season as well.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be good. He's gonna get in everybody's business.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for that. And I'll say there's a question from my friend. He asked who in the show was most like their character, would you say?
Oh, Bitsy, 100%. Like
Jesse.
Bitsy, Bitsy is just because like Bitsy is so alpha and on it. Like Bitsy,
Yeah.
if you ever want to know what's going on behind the scenes, you ask Bitsy. Like Bitsy
Mhm.
knows what's up. Like more so than Tyler. Like Tyler sometimes doesn't care because he just like does his thing or whatever.
Right.
But Bitsy's so smart. She's so like type A and gets stuff done and is just so determined and focused. Like she's very much the embodiment of Lois Lane, and I love that. She brings it. I mean, like you see her passion. You see how driven she is, and you see that in the character. But that's also like the woman herself.
Yeah, you definitely see it in the character this season, especially
Oh,
like with her missing her chemo appointments.
dude, that's to me, that's the thing I love the most is like, I've not had to go through this, thankfully. And I
Right.
don't think I've No, like yeah, I'm trying to think. Anyone super close to me has gone through this in my mind. Not something to this extent, but the
Mhm.
idea of how Lois would approach, you know what I mean? It's like, no, I understand the idea of like, no, everything's falling apart. I need to work. I want normalcy. I like what they're doing with the character with that. I think that's cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it was so unexpected too. But I think it
Hmm.
was a good twist for sure. It was early in the season, but yeah.
Yeah. No, it's gonna play out. It's gonna play out because I know a lot of people worried about how like the show is gonna handle it. But I think they're definitely it's not like a quick fix. It's not like oh everything's
Mhm.
fine. Like no, it's definitely like it plays a role.
Right, right. And yeah, like how you talk about how everybody's family with the cast, it seems like
Hmm.
I know Jordan Elsass, he left the show last season. So
Hmm.
bringing in Michael Bishop, I feel like he's like seamlessly integrated into the show. Like he has the mannerisms, like everything. It's just
Yeah, it's been interesting to do that because like so our characters don't interact that much, like but I got close to Jordan. And I love Jordan. I
yeah,
talked to him too. Like I talked to him like a month ago. And he's doing well, which is good. But yeah,
that's good.
it was weird. Yeah, it was just it was just it was weird. I'm not gonna act like it was normal. I've not been through that before, and it came out of nowhere.
Hmm.
Like I said, we all bonded, especially because during season one we were stuck in Canada together. We
Hmm.
couldn't really go back and forth because across the border you have to quarantine for 2 weeks and all that.
Right.
So yeah, that bonded us. So it was a little weird to have somebody come in who like is like not part of that. But Michael's been great. Like I know he's got along with everyone. He's super chill, like cool kid or whatever. He brings a swagger to him too. Like I think Jordan brought a swagger. This is just a different
Hmm.
kind of swagger. So yeah, but it's been good.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And I feel like it doesn't even seem like there's been a change to me. Like he's just, pulling it off so well. Like I
Yeah,
was
but and no, I was gonna say
yeah,
that's I think testament to like him as an actor, but also like
yeah,
him and Alex, how they because I know they hang a
right, that
lot. You know what I
chemistry.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to play come through. And like I think they spend a lot of time together in real life, which I think helps a lot.
Gotcha, gotcha. And then they translate that to the screen.
100%. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I can definitely see it. I can see the brother relationship. And that's sometimes you worry about that with recasting like chemistry issues, but I feel like it's working out perfectly. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. I'm happy for him.
and who would you say is the funniest person on set? Like is there anyone, pulling pranks, making cheesy jokes, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, yeah. Who's the most? Tyler pulls a lot of pranks. He pulls
Really?
a lot of pranks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Him, but he
Well,
likes to get bitsy. Tyler likes to mess with Bitsy. So he's up there. Alex pulls pranks, or at least makes jokes. I don't know if he pulls pranks, but he makes a lot of jokes, and he admits that his jokes could be corny. But Alex has got a lot of energy. I love that kid. He's like a sweetheart. He's just got good energy, just a good heart with him. So I guess those two probably I'm an idiot on set. Like I don't really pull pranks. I'm just a goofball.
yeah,
And that's my role.
I feel it. Yeah, I feel like I'd be the same way. Just
Yeah.
and that's another thing with the family thing, just doing little stuff like that. That
Mhm.
sounds awesome with the
Yeah.
pranks and
Yeah.
stuff. And who would you say is like never forgets their character lines? Like they're always on top of everything, if that's even
Who's
possible,
the
because I know it's hard.
Mm, it's hard. I'm trying to think who is really good at that. Dylan's really good. Dylan never breaks character. Dylan is probably the best at that because everybody else messes up. I mess up, Bitsy messes up, and messes up. And probably Dylan and Sophia, maybe Eric, but our characters don't interact as much, so I don't really see him acting a ton.
Right.
But Dylan is always on it. I would say, like, because we've had scenes where I know a scene is episode somewhere late this season where it was like me, Tyler, and Dylan. And me and Tyler just could not stop laughing. We just kept breaking.
Mhm.
But Dylan was like strong. I was like, okay, Dylan, I get it. So he's on it.
Yeah, that's tough to do because I watch a lot of comedies and stuff, and I'm just sitting there thinking like how do they stay in character on set like when somebody's doing
Mm-hmm.
something hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking,
Mm-hmm.
like watching
Mm-hmm.
a sitcom or something, the people in the back, like with the audience laughing and clapping, like how they stay in character, it gets me. I
Yeah,
don't know how y'all do it.
100%. I completely
Yeah,
agree. You just do. Hey, it's called. You got to earn your paycheck, and
yeah,
if you don't get it, we're gonna stay there forever, and the crew's gonna
Yeah.
be really pissed. So it's called "It's Your Job,"
Take after take, take after take.
and that's all it is. You just keep doing it, you know.
What would you say? What's like the longest amount of takes you've ever done? Has it been a lot like that, or is that over exaggerated?
Uh oh no, I did. I did have one. There was one episode, not this season, a different season, where yeah, the director had us do a bunch of takes, a lot of takes, and I it wasn't just me in that episode, in that scene, I should say. So that was annoying, like because the thing about it is where you end up doing a ton, like it just drains the energy out of it. It's like, how many ways do you want me to do this?
Right.
But I think it's because the director wanted to get certain shots in, and so that's what it was. But again, you just kind of have to do it. You know, it is what it is.
Absolutely. And speaking of director, I noticed the first episode was directed by Tom Cavanaugh, and I'm a huge fan of The
Yeah.
Flash. Like I watched
Oh
The
yeah.
Flash when it first premiered, like a long time ago,
I
2014.
did too. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a huge fan of that. So like, what's it like working with Tom?
Dude, Tom's amazing. I mean, like that's why I think that first episode was so good and so funny. I mean, like
Yeah.
outside of the writing, obviously, and like the cast, where you know, I think we do a good job. But Tom brings a good eye to it, and he just brings an eye for comedy. Like I hear there are
Yeah.
versions of that, which are like I hear there's like a 10-minute longer version of some stuff, which is like just hilarious, which they can't air because it's just we have a limited amount of time. But
Right.
Tom just brings good energy, and I think the thing is when you have an actor director they understand the language. Like not all directors get how to talk to us because sometimes be like, could you be more angry? And it's like, okay, like I mean, for me as an actor, that doesn't translate. I can play angry, but why am I angry? You know what I mean? Like that, there's no connection to that. I think good actor directors understand. Okay, what's the motivation? Because me as the actor, I'm always like, why am I doing something? I have to know why I'm doing it, so I can process that and then make that happen as the character. If if you tell me to do something, it doesn't connect.
Yeah, I feel that. And speaking of the actor director, I don't know if you saw Creed 3, but that was like Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard he did a great job. Dude, it made a
Yeah.
ton of money, so I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like I see what you're saying with like the actor director. I feel like they were, with the camaraderie with the cast and everything, I feel like it would be more genuine for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, and then you got talented actors. I mean, like, you got Jonathan Majors coming on there. I mean, like that's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Tessa Thompson and all that stuff. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Like I said, I've been traveling. We were shooting and I'm not even in the country right now. But yeah, I'm going to definitely catch it eventually. Yeah.
Gotcha. And another question my friend was gonna ask, like, do you have any memorabilia you've taken offset or you were like allowed to take offset before?
I haven't taken anything. There was for a minute I was gonna take some. We had a bunch of X Kryptonite. Remember, like I think last season was all X Kryptonite, so we had a bunch. I think I took some, or I was gonna take it. Then I didn't, or maybe I did and I forgot it. Because honestly, like I'm a minimalist. I don't really like keeping stuff.
Right.
But I haven't taken anything yet. If like I hope we get one more season because if I find out it's one more season, then I will purposely steal something. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna steal something.
I'll do the same thing. I don't blame you. Maybe
yeah.
With the suit, is it like practical or is it CG? The one you wear?
No, it's practical. People ask all the time. No, that is real. That's why I tell people like I give so much props to, like I said, Stephen Adekola, who's the guy who wears the suit. He's my stunt double for the suit.
Oh,
And
okay.
he like I said, like if I've got the helmet on, 95% of the time that's him doing the work. Like in the last episode 3 was just aired a couple days ago. That's all him. I didn't put any of that suit on that episode.
Gotcha.
I just did a little bit of voiceover. That was all his work. So it's practical. I put on the suit. I have a version of the suit for me because he's taller than me. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's not easy to walk around in. It looks a lot cooler than it is to use. I'll say that.
Do you ever do any stunts at all?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I've done a ton of stunts, tons of stuff. Like I did.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm doing more stunts this season. In the suit, it's mostly Steven because he is a trained stunt professional for it. And again, it's a very cumbersome suit. But yeah, like I said, like I get to do more suit. Honestly, you'll see there's stunts that happen outside of the suit this season, which I'm looking forward to people seeing. And that's all me. Except for one. There's something that happens next episode, and I'll talk about it after it airs. There's a funny thing that happens, and I'm going to post about it. But that's that. Yeah. Like I said, that'll be episode 4. I think it'll be funny for the audience and for me to see.
Fair enough. Sounds good. No exclusives on Burner Talk. As again, that out
No,
the
no,
way. Yeah,
at
no
least not
exclusives.
that. I ain't
Not
giving
yet.
stuff
Not
away.
yet. I say, what's your favorite snack on sets
Oh,
if you have one?
donuts, dude.
Donuts.
I have a horrible sweet tooth. Like it's bad, Jay. Like it's bad. Because I only drink
I'm with
water
you on
all day.
that.
That's what dude. I only drink water, so I get my sugar from cake. Like
Mhm.
so they know, and our team, Sam, Tamara, all these like the catering people, they know me. If I'm coming, I probably want a sweet. So that's probably my biggest guilty pleasure.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you need them to keep going. Like, it gives you an energy boost too. So I
I
feel
mean, it
that.
does. I mean, we were there for like 14-hour days sometimes. You just got to keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like looking ahead, are you expecting like any other shows in the same universe as Superman and Lois? Because I know like a lot of them have been getting canceled. But
Yeah. It's interesting. I think it was smart of them to separate us from the Arrowverse. I mean, I know it's coming to an end. I know this is the Flash's final season,
yeah,
and obviously at first I don't think that was the idea. I think from my understanding, we were going to do a crossover. We had a crossover that was supposed to be done, but I think with us and maybe Batwoman in season one.
mhm,
But like, A, COVID stopped that. But B, like the tones of the show are so different anyway. Like we're filmed in a different way, so I don't mind it being separate. I think going forward, because like you said, there's a little bit of superhero fatigue.
right,
So I think what's cool is let a show do its own thing. Like the other shows I love that I think are cool, but I don't think they'll necessarily gel with ours. You know what I mean? Like you said, I used to love The Flash. I watched it. Like I remember the first season, which was amazing and all that stuff. And but there are other quirky superhero shows that I like. Like I love The Boys. Like I'm obsessed with The Boys. Obviously,
yeah,
that's a
that was great.
completely different world than us. But like like that's just I like that they do their thing. I also don't want five more versions of The Boys. You know what I mean? I like it for
Right,
being what it is. So it's things like that I think which work.
gotcha. And speaking of different universes, like were you big into DC coming up? Like, do you watch all the DC movies that come out, or like are you big into
You
it
mean
like that?
now or when I was younger?
Both, both.
Well, I mean, when I was younger, yeah, I was into all that stuff. I mean, like, dude,
Yeah.
Batman the animated series is my favorite cartoon of all time.
Okay.
And X-Men is a close second, but like that I've still watched Batman animated that, like, but all that stuff. I guess that'd be the Bruce Timm verse, like that with Justice League Unlimited. I watched all that. I watched Superman too, but like honestly, like Superman was a little too nice. It was a little too
Mm.
corny for me. Like
Too
it's just
corny.
like he's just so nice. Yeah, keep it real.
Understandable.
Yeah. I like a little darker. So yeah, I did all this stuff. I read the comics when I was a kid. And now, yeah, I mean, like I watch as much as I can, but it's just like it's just too many movies. Like, dude,
It is a lot.
there is so much content. And I think for me as a person, when you work in the industry,
Mhm.
I appreciate what they do, but I don't have the energy to keep up with it as much as I can. Like I want to see Shazam 2. I haven't seen it yet. I'll eventually see it when I'm back in the country. I have, I'm sure there'll be a Marvel movie that I'll eventually see. Because I saw Black Panther 2 when that came out. I'm sure there'll be another one or whatever. There's
Yeah.
enough. I keep up as much as I can, but like I said, dude, there's too many. It's too much.
Yeah, yeah. Like alluding to like I said earlier, it's like very, it's oversaturated. Not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just a lot, like a lot to keep up with.
No.
Yeah.
But I think here's what it is for me. I'm in general, I'm a person for quality over quantity. Like
Right.
like I'll take I think the brilliance of, if we talk about the industry right now, I think like, what Kevin Feige did, obviously in Marvel, everyone respects because like he unified that place. I mean, like that's amazing to do all that. But at the same time, though, like that is one thing to do with movies, and I got to do with the TV shows and all that. That's a lot to do.
Mhm.
And that's why I commend and I like the fact I know what DC, like James Gunn and Peter Safran are coming and they have their 10-year plan. I know it's not easy to juggle all that because you got to make all that stuff work. So
Right.
my hat's off to them. I think I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think they're smart enough to pull it off. But that's again why I kind of like that we're on our own thing, because trying to stuff us in there, it would just get too crazy and too messy. Like, let us just do our own little thing on the side.
Yeah, for sure. And they
Yeah.
tried it a little bit with Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller. They had like their little
I
scene.
saw with it. I
Yeah.
watched the whatchamacallit, the
So,
crisis thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
Crisis.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. That was nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
funny.
cool. I thought they were going to try to build something off of it. I don't know. I
Yeah,
thought like maybe Grant was going to be in the Flash movie last year. I don't know about all that, but
I mean, honestly, I don't know
yeah,
either. Maybe both of us will be surprised. Maybe we see Grant Gustin pop in the Flash movie. Who knows?
yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be awesome. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like dealing with all this and like what you mentioned with James Gunn and Peter Safran and both of us being like comic book fans, like how hard is it to try to appease like this community? Because they want their certain what they want to
They
see.
do, they do.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I don't really read like I don't get involved heavily with like the review stuff. I mean, I do read some
Yeah.
reviews that I've talked about it before. Like there's certain things I do look at just because I find their takes interesting on things.
Mhm.
But for me, look, I don't look. I don't go in my DMs. Like people know that I just don't because for mental health reasons I don't do that. Some of
Mhm.
the other casts, particularly the younger members, get involved in that stuff. My hat's off to them if they want to do that. I know sometimes it backfires.
Right.
But I can only do my job is to do. Like, I think if you go in and you try to please everybody, you're always gonna fail. Like again, that's why I say with this show, the fact, that they decided to do this cancer storyline, like I know some people are not gonna like that because some people want escapism. That's what they want from these kind of shows. And this is something which might hit too close to home. So that might not appeal to everyone. But at the same time, though, at least I hope people respect a show for taking a risk. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because if
Yeah.
everything's just cookie cutter, what's the point? Like then it becomes
Exactly.
everything's kind of silly. So I think I think that I hope people take that away from it. And yeah, and like again, I do my thing, and hopefully people connect with it. If they don't, that's okay. There's other TV shows. There's the actors on the show. It's Superman and Lois. It's
Yeah.
not Superman and Steel. So
Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is.
exactly. I can't control what people don't think about me. They're gonna do it. I don't
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great mentality to have for sure.
yeah.
And I think the last question I got for you is also another
Sure.
one from my friend. And he said, can we expect to see any other big DC characters come on the show anytime soon? And if you have any other roles coming up or in the works?
Good question. No, nothing specifically right now. I mean, like I'm auditioning for stuff right now, which is cool. So that's been fun. But no, like I think, I mean, obviously they already know. Everyone knows that Lex Luthor's coming up at the end of the season, so that's
Right.
going to be great. Michael Cutlass, it plays him. I don't think it's a spoiler. Our characters do not overlap yet. Like they're not going to overlap this season because he comes in at the very end of the season, and so our characters have overlap. But I've heard about the work he does, and obviously I've read the scripts, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this is a different take on Lex, and I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised. I know I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, we going that route? Okay, I'm in. So yeah, and like they're gonna be different stuff. I mean, it's Bruno and Chad does, like I said, Chad does a great job. So that's gonna be the main part of the season, and then at the end they bring in Lex. So it just keep adding on the pressure onto that to that. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of Lex Luthors, so it's kind of hard to like, bring your own flavor to it. So that's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
tell
exciting to
you,
see.
he's gonna bring his own flavor. Brother. I'm gonna tell you, do not worry. He's bringing his own flavor. Don't and I trust it. Like I said, I've read the scripts. It's his own flavor. It's
Absolutely.
gonna
Yeah.
be fine.
You got me excited to see it, man. Got me excited.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
I'm ready.
Cool.
But yeah, I think that's all I have. How was your experience on the show, man?
No, with you, dude, you good.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know we've been like, what I appreciate, the patience. I know, you reached out through IG, because I know people just said I don't do EDMs because Jay reached out, like he actually posted it in one of my posts.
Yeah, out of
If you ever
comment.
want to contact me, it's the best way to do it in the post
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna go in my DMs.
Yeah.
But no, dude, you cool. Like I'm sure. I just appreciate anyone who is a fan of the show because I know, again, without air, we have great fans. I like our fans are very passionate. But on top of that, without the fans, we would not have a show. So for
Absolutely.
me, I just give respect to you for being part of it. And the fact that you would take your time out to interview me. You didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? I don't have a big ego. Like I come at this like I'm doing a job like everybody else. I'm not like some big name, huge star. Nor do I want to be. I don't really care to do that.
Mhm.
I'm very chill. I'm very down to earth. So I just appreciate you taking the time out to be curious about me.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you again, man. Thank you for taking the time to join me. It was a great episode.
No problem, dude. And good luck with school and good luck with figuring out whatever it is you're gonna do. You got a lot of time, man. You're young.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Cool. Take care, Jay.
You too.
Peace out,
Bye
man.
bye. All right, guys. Thanks again to Wole for joining me. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You already know what it is. It's been real. I'm your host, Jay, and I'm out of here. Peace. Also, buy your merch today.